I think you're amazing.
You are too, Henry.
Thank you so much. Well, Perry, you are awesome.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, and I appreciate you what you're doing too, buddy.
Well, thank you. Because if you allow the world to define you, if you allow friends to define you, if you allow your spouse to define you, or anybody to define you outside of how God sees you, that does open the door to rejection. God bless you. I hope y'all have an amazing day.
Thank you, Brother Henry.
Thank
God
you.
bless you too. Thank you for having us.
Welcome to the Brother Henry and You Show. I am your host, Henry Harris. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Such an honor to be here with you today. Our next guest is such an amazing guest, such a beautiful person who carries a beautiful spirit. Her name is Hazel Krebs. And I'm really honored to have her on the show today. I became acquainted with her and became friends with her through my dear friend, Reverend Dion Boyce, and her wife out of Kansas City. And I'm truly honored about the friendship I've had with her. Uh, she did a show on their program, and then I became exposed to her book, Enthusiastically Me, which was not released yet, but will be released at the time of this interview. So it's such an honor to have Hazel on the show today. Hazel is not only an amazing person, amazing friend, but I've become acquainted with over the last several months. But also, she's proudly transgender. She's a mother of incredible kids. She's a writer, speaker, advocate for the LGBT community. And violence and so much more. Today, we're here to talk about her new release book called Enthusiastically Me. And Hazel, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you, Henry, for having me. And I've really appreciated these last few months getting to know you through Reverend Dion, like you mentioned.
Well, thank you too. So, before we get into the book, can you I always like our audience to know a little bit about the author, a little bit about you? Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself? Then we'll start talking about your book.
Yes, yes. And I'll save some of the preview because the book is a memoir. So there's
Okay.
quite a bit of overlap. But so I actually was born in Omaha, Nebraska. That's where I was raised, had kids, lived there. I won't say my exact age, but for into my mid 30s, I was in Omaha, moved down to Kansas City, had the very traditional corporate life, worked in insurance, did that, worked up a corporate ladder, promotions, things like that, was married to a woman with whom I had my kids. And then, yeah, did the sports. I played bowling in high school. That was my athletic endeavors. I've always just enjoyed spending time with my kids. Used to enjoy sports a little bit more, but now I've been in Kansas City for almost 8 years. And just at this point, that was when I started to find myself. Again, I'll save some of that for the book, but had some demons I was battling that then came out, and I found who I was a few years ago.
That's amazing. And I love the title of your book, Enthusiastically Me. I feel like Hazel, everybody should be living their life not only enthusiastically but authentically as well. I feel like those two words are kind of intertwined with each other. So tell us what inspired you to write this book?
That's great. So I was actually sitting, there's a coffee shop restaurant here around the corner, sitting outside thinking, what do I have to offer the world? Um, and I'm like, well, I want to write something. And I came to the realization what I have most to offer the world is how much I love who I am now.
Mhm.
And I started to write a blog, and just like as kind of a how to, what I do on a daily basis, with the idea the book was going to be kind of a standalone how I became this person. What's interesting is how many people I know now who've only met this pink and blue hair trans girl, and I've only had pink and blue hair for a year. I've only gone by Hazel for 3 years. And I know so many people because I am so excited. I am just like, I love the energy of being around people. And I wanted to write this book to say, hey, I haven't always been this way. I was a very different person even just a few years ago. And I wanted to show anyone and everyone that no matter where you are today, you can find a life you're enthusiastic to live.
Yeah, that's powerful. And I feel like authenticity is something that a lot of people it's almost like it's a threat to them. Like, but it is so liberating when you can actually be yourself in the absence of what people may think about you, what they may say about you, what they may feel about you. Like you can literally look in the mirror and you probably couldn't do this at one time and say, I love Hazel. I love everything about her, the good, the bad. I just love everything about me. And I think that is so refreshing to be able to
Mhm.
do that. So with that being said, um, what would you say would be one of the leading causes as to why some people choose not to live enthusiastically?
Mhm. I would say fear.
Oh,
I
that's good.
and that's something that's very like prominent through my book is the fear I had to be my authentic self. And you just mentioned mirrors, and that's another thing that when I was battling substance abuse and depression, I avoided mirrors. I was afraid of what I would see. I was afraid of putting myself out there, partly because I didn't know who I was, but then I was afraid of the response people would get. So I often just conformed to the situation that I thought I should be in. And now I don't really live with fear, particularly the same way I used to, but I often don't live with fear because I just do what I want to do and do it the way I would do it. It's funny, I kind of jokingly say it's really easy to be me because I just do what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, if someone doesn't like me, then they don't like me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be afraid of that anymore. And just, that's who it is, that's what it is. So fear is a big thing and a big thing that I had to overcome, just saying you don't have to be afraid to let people go away.
Wow, that is so profound. And I love what you said. In a nutshell, you're saying you're not validated if anyone likes you, if anyone, because it seems like we live in a time where everybody, and I think it's part of the human experience that we all want to be loved. We all want to live enthusiastically. We all want to be accepted and valued. And sometimes when we're not getting that from the outside, we rather find ourselves discouraged. But when we can just give ourselves what we're looking for in other people, it's a whole different story. So thank you for answering
Mhm.
that question. And my last question is, what would you say the main takeaway from your book? Like once the people read it, and I'm sure you got a whole lot of good stuff and a lot of great information about you. But what if you can sum it up, what would be the main takeaway after people read your book? What would be the walk away? What they can get from the book?
Mhm. This is a fantastic question. I want people to have what I have. I don't want to be greedy and not like have this to myself. Everyone, like, this is so amazing. Living authentically, being enthusiastic. I wake up every single day just excited simply because I'm me. And I want everyone to have that. And I want people who read the book and see where I came from and be confident and inspired to find their life that they're enthusiastic to live. And my tagline is, this is my story of discovering a life from substance abuse and depression to a life I'm enthusiastic to live. And I want people to have that too. And just, what is it? Go find it, go do it, go take it. If whatever it is, find that life that makes you enthusiastic each day.
Thank you, Hazel, so much for being on the show today. This was such a wonderful interview. And if I'm ordering the book, those that are watching from around the world, you're going to have to order the book. So, Hazel, can you tell us how our audience can purchase your book?
Yes, so it'll be on Amazon. Hazel Krebs, Enthusiastically Me. My website's enthusiastically-u.com. I will have a link directly to the Amazon page. Social media is a great place. I am on Hazel G. Krebs is my tag on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. I will always be posting updates on social media, so that's probably the best place and easiest place to find me.
Well, Perry, you are awesome.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, and I appreciate what you're doing too, buddy.
Well, thank you. Because if you allow the world to define you, if you allow friends to define you, if you allow your spouse to define you, or anybody to define you outside of how God sees you, that does open the door to rejection. God bless you. I hope y'all have an amazing day.
Thank you, Brother Henry.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
God bless you too. Thank you for having us.